Have you ever felt so completely lonely that the whole world just fades to gray? Well, over 1,000 years ago, a Korean scholar captured that exact feeling in this incredibly short, powerful poem. And what's amazing is that hidden inside all that sorrow is this surprising piece of wisdom about seeing yourself with total clarity. So let's dive in and unpack it together. Okay, so this is it. The poem Ujeong-yau, which means night rain at the post pavilion. Right now, I know, it might just look like a bunch of beautiful characters on a screen. But trust me, by the end of this, we're going to see how these few lines paint this complete, unforgettable picture of a man confronting the deepest parts of his own mind. So who's the person behind these words? Our poet is a man named Choe Chi-won. He was a brilliant scholar from Korea's ancient Silla dynasty, way back in the 9th century. I mean, this guy was a recognized prodigy, a genius. But his life was also marked by this really deep sense of isolation. And that feeling is the very soul of this poem. Now here's something really interesting. We don't know for sure when he wrote this. It could have been during his time as a lonely foreigner studying in Tang, China, or maybe it was after he came back home to Silla, only to find himself as a total outcast who just couldn't fit in. But either way, we know one thing for sure. This poem comes from a place of deep, personal loneliness. You know, the magic of this kind of poetry is how each individual character, or hanja, acts like a single careful brushstroke. So to really get the full picture, we have to look at each one. Let's start building the scene character by character. The poem kicks off with this character right here, Tabi. In Korean, it's pronounced ya, and right away, it sets the tone. It means traveler, journey. It points to a temporary place, somewhere that isn't home. You can already feel that the poet is unmoored, just drifting. Next up, we add this character, Gwan, pronounced Gwan. This just means a house or some kind of establishment. So, when you put yo and Gwan together, you get Yogwan, a traveler's inn. See? It's a place you pass through, not a place you stay. And that brings us to the very first line. In Korean, it's read as Yeogwan Gongju, and what it means is, at the traveler's inn, the late autumn rain is ending. Now just think about that for a second. Even the rain, the only sound, the only action in this entire world, is fading away. The whole scene is becoming completely quiet, empty, desolate. All right, the second line opens with the character sun, pronounced han. It's simple, it just means cold. And with this one single character, the feeling of the poem shifts. We're not just hearing the dying rain outside anymore. Now we're feeling this physical, creeping chill inside the room. And what's in this cold, cold room? Just this. Thung, which is pronounced thung. It means lamp or light. It is the single, solitary source of light and maybe warmth in this entire scene. Just a tiny little flame against a huge, dark night. So the full second line reads, Han chang jong yodung. It means, at the cold window, the night lamp is quiet. The lamp isn't flickering, it's not dancing, it's just still. The scene is now almost completely frozen in this cold, silent moment. All the life has just vanished. Okay, so the stage is set. We've got this cold, silent inn at the end of a long autumn night. And now, the camera pivots. The poem stops looking at the world outside the window, and it turns to look at the world inside the poet's own mind. This huge shift begins with just one character, J, pronounced ja. It means self, oneself. This is our signal that things are about to get really personal, really introspective. And what is this self doing? It's feeling this rayan, pronounced rayan. This is a powerful one. It means to pity. So when you put them together, you get jayan, self-pity. This isn't just regular sadness. It's a very conscious awareness of his own miserable situation. And this brings us to the gut punch of the third line, jayan suri jiwa. The translation is literally, pitying myself I sit inside sorrow. Get that? He's not just feeling sad. He describes himself as being physically located inside his sorrow, as if sorrow itself is the room he's sitting in. He is completely, 100% enveloped by it. So he's sitting there, all alone, motionless, totally trapped in his grief. I mean, where can the poem even go from here? Well, It takes a totally unexpected turn, and it uses this startling final image to unlock its deepest meaning. Now, to understand this twist, we need to know about a key Buddhist concept, samme, or samme in Korean. This comes from the Sanskrit word samadhi, and it describes a state of perfect, deep meditation. It's a mind that is totally free from worldly attachments, and this is crucial, free from sorrow. And that brings us to the final, absolutely shocking line, Jinge Jongjong-sing, which means, truly, I am a monk in the midst of samadhi. Now, hold on a second. How can a guy who just told us he's sitting inside of sorrow possibly compare himself to an enlightened monk who is totally free from it? It makes no sense, right? Well, this is the genius of the poem. It's a moment of incredible irony. On one side, you have the ideal, a monk in samurai, completely focused, spiritually free. And on the other side, you have the poet's reality. He is trapped in sorrow, completely consumed by his own grief. He's looking at himself sitting there, so still, so absorbed in his sadness, and he sees a bitter, twisted reflection of a meditating monk. In Korean, this is a brilliant act of something called jajo. It's a kind of sharp, piercing self-mockery. He's not bragging about being enlightened. He's saying, look at me. I'm sitting here so still, so silent, so lost in my feelings. I look like a monk in deep meditation, but I'm not focused on enlightenment. I'm just focused on my own sadness. So what's the wisdom here? It's not about trying to overcome your sadness. It's about seeing it and seeing yourself inside of it with this shocking, brutally honest clarity. This ancient poem is really offering a timeless lesson for all of us. What this poem really teaches us is that in those moments of deep loneliness, we can actually find a space for some incredible self-reflection. It peels back the mask, showing that huge difference between how we might look on the outside, calm and still, and how we actually feel on the inside. And maybe the biggest takeaway is that wisdom isn't always about escaping our sorrow. Sometimes it's just having the courage to look it right in the eye, maybe even with a little bit of that dark, self-aware humor. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? Choe Chi-won sat in his sorrow and saw himself with this painful, ironic clarity. So the real question for us is, what can we learn from looking our own loneliness in the eye?